Start?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sidhi Dhir, and I'm the Executive Director of TiE Singapore. Welcome once again to our Go Digital series. This is the last workshop under our Go Digital series under the Emerge program supported by google.org. The topic for this session today is digital marketing by Google, and the speaker is Yolanda Lin, Senior Program Manager, Sales Enabled and Activation, Google Cloud Google. Let me share a bit of profile for Yolanda. She has worked with different industries across hospitality, technology, social media, with 12 years of experience in training and enablement field at Marriott, Apple, Facebook, and Google, providing training workshops to support anyone who is willing to learn new things and enable them with needed skills. Yolanda, you've got quite a bit of experience with Apple, Facebook, Google, and the works. So welcome and thank you once again to help us and help our audience understand how digital marketing can be increased in their business through Google Cloud. Over to you, Yolanda.
Thank you so much for the great introduction. Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I know probably you guys are coming from different country. If you would like to, could you please just leave in the chat and then let us know where you are from? I'm really interested to find out which country you are based in. If you can open up the chat. Oh, we have someone from Germany. Welcome, Oliver. Singapore. Thanks, Joey. And we also have Sumu from India and Buddha, India as well. Seems like a very diversified audience today. Okay, thanks everyone. And I hope now you know where we can do a little bit interaction today. So besides this chat, and feel free to use it whenever you have any question. I may stop in the middle just to ask to find out if you have any question to clarify, or we can definitely have some Q&A time at the end of the session. So feel free, this is not a big group, so we can have a really interactive session that will be super welcomed. So now let's start. Let me share my screen, just 1 second. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. You should be able to see digital marketing. Okay, amazing. Before I start, I just want to set a little bit expectation. Just had an introduction by Sidhi as well, that I'm working with enablement, training, and done 12 years of experience in education field. So I really love to have a lot of activity happening in a session instead of just me alone to share. So if any of you are comfortable to share your experience, that's super welcomed. So throughout this session, I may give you some time to think through of your business digital strategy. And if you are comfortable to share, and you can come on audio or even video if you wish, or you can also feel free to share your strategy in the chat. So each of us can learn from each other, and that will be the best for learning exchange experience as well. Okay, so let's start. First, let's introduce the agenda of today. We're gonna look through 3 different areas. Number 1 is, what does digital marketing look like in today's modern world? And second, we're gonna move to more specifically zooming into your own business, or if you have any idea like how you wanna run your business, and this is the place where we can share or learn how to shape a digital marketing strategy together. And lastly, if you have time left, we'll go into a little bit on how Google Ads will support you on achieving some of your marketing strategy. Without further ado, let's start. So the first interesting topic is really about digital advertising in the year of 2021. And I would love to share with you how Google thinks, what will be the future or what will be the digital world nowadays. So it really tells us in 5 different perspectives. And I want you to follow this along the way and just to think your own business. How can you leverage some of this or all of this into your digital marketing strategy? So we'll look at them one by one. The first one is assistive experience. I think through what that might mean to you. And second is about machine learning. The third is personalized digital marketing. And of course, we have growth of video, as well as the last one, immersive experience. So let's look at them one by one. So the first is assistive experience. I don't know how many of you are actually using some of this experience before. If you do, you can let me know some of the example in the chat as well. So what is this about? So this is like in today's consumers really want frictionless service and are loyal to business who meet their growing demands for fast, relevant, and seamless experience. I don't know how many of you are using Google products or how many of you could be using Apple products. And then you sometimes just talk to Siri or talk to Google Assistant, ask them to accomplish certain tasks for you. That will be very fun, and it links and sync among all of your devices and also tells you what you need. And you no longer need to set up your alarm by yourself, and you can ask Siri to do it. And you can also ask your Google Assistant to say, you want to book a restaurant maybe, right? So all of these are happening right now in today's digital world. And I have to say the COVID-19 actually contributes to all of this usage as well. Next, it is about machine learning. So whenever we talk about machine learning, it is really, really exciting topic, right? A lot of things that computer can help us to do a lot of like data analyst, gathering trend and understanding what could be the future trend as well. So at Google, we believe machine learning will transform every business. So if you haven't really think about it for your own business, this is the best opportunity for you to think how we can integrate machine learning. It is no longer that far that we can't reach. It is actually just happened as what I shared. Actually, Google Assistant or even like Siri, those are all the types of machine learning that can help to make our life more convenient. It definitely can really help us on how decisions were being made and how process can improve and how new boundaries are broken, right? Today, I just share a quick story about myself. I was using an online service, like customer chat service, and I know it is a machine, it is not a real human, but it was super clever. Like, I'm pretty sure you have also tried those kind of chat before. And let me just type yes if you have done that before. But I can share my story. So what happens is at the beginning, you just type the keyword of what you want to ask for example, like billing, and then they will automatically give you some options. Like say, do you want to change billing address, or do you want to get billing receipt, or do you want to check the past history of billing? And then you can, based on the 1 to 3 options, and choose the one before you move on to the next step. And eventually, when they cannot help you because it's a more personalized question, that's where they will ask you to find a human like chat to continue the service. So those are already part of the machine learning. And then from a company perspective, when you can set up this automatic reply, and that's how you can also gather the information around what kind of inquiries, what kind of questions are showing up the most. Then you can, based on that, to create your corresponding responses. That will be very efficient and also help you to save a lot of time. I know there are a couple of services can do that. If you are using Facebook messages or as users, some third-party messages platform, and there is a way for machine learning to be integrated in there. Let me just take a look at the chat to see whether anyone has any experience so far regarding to the machine learning or assistive service. Okay, please use more chat. I want to have a little bit more interaction. All right, so let's move on. Okay, Anupama said yes. Do you? Okay, Oliver is not yet. You said, Anupama, would you like to come on audio just to share what you have been used and how that works for you?
Anupama, to get onto the audio, you need to raise your hand, and then one of us would allow you to speak. Oh wow. Okay, so let's ask Anupama to talk first. Yeah.
Hi, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Yeah. So my startup is basically a social media kind of platform. So for machine learning, I use mainly to kind of make any iterative processes much faster by having them as a code so that you don't have to do things manually, to make manual processes more faster.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Definitely. And then if you recall at the beginning, when we first have this kind of messenger or customer service reply to each customer, we usually do it manually. And then I will give an example as Facebook, because that's where I worked before, and I know a little bit more information about that. Within the messenger platform, like if you set up advertisement from Facebook platform, then if you set up a messenger campaign, and from there they have options for you to automate your response. There are some basic feature, for example, like people asking what is your working hours, or what is your address, or some what products do you have. So once they capture these keywords, they will be automatically showing those response. So those are very simple version of machine learning. And if you want, there are also plenty of third-party integration messenger tools outside to help you to integrate all of the different platform messages together for you to manage in a more consistent way. I'm not in a position to share which one I recommend, because there are many options, and I'll recommend you to do a little bit research and then choose the one that works for you. But definitely just keep that in mind. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There are different APIs which you can integrate. So these APIs will help you with some open source already built-in technologies which you can just plug in and use for your startup.
Oh, I really appreciate your sharing.
We had Olivia as well, who had raised his hand. Olivia, would you still want to go ahead? Then please raise your hand again.
Yeah.
I think Olivia's no.
Okay. That's no problem.
Feel free to move ahead.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's move on. And now we come to the third one. The third, I would say, future or current trend of digital marketing, which is about personalized digital marketing. When you see this, can you let me know in the chat what comes into your mind? What is your understanding about personalized digital marketing? From the description, it says like broad demographics are no longer good enough. And the goal now is really to have a targeted and highly curated message for each customer. Let's think about this in the traditional media type of advertising, where we watch the TV and then we watch this TV show, and then during the TV show, in the middle of it, and then you see an advertisement for a chocolate, and for everyone will watch it, will see it, right? That is a more broad So it depends on people who are willing to choose what TV show, and then they choose which TV programs they want to do advertise for. But nowadays, if you can do digital marketing, that completely changed the way how you want to target people. The current biggest platforms like Facebook or Google, we have the opportunities to really narrow your target audience and make it a little bit more customized. And you can choose certain demographics. You can choose the country you want to target to. You can choose based on interest or based on intent. Like, what exactly do you want to target for? Right? Instead of spending a $10,000 to the entire popularity in Singapore, why don't you spend $500 target to people who 50% possible to buy your products or services? So that is something definitely has been changing a lot. So I'm looking at Joey's response as well. Could personalized digital marketing mean the marketing is tailored to every individual search history likes? Yes, part of that is absolutely correct. So you have the ability to target to people who only wants to buy shoes. Right? You're not targeting to people who just looking for something else. But Google advertising is great at searching with intent. So if you can predict your customer, how do they search for your products to be reached to them, you need to think the compelling text words or search words to be able to capture people's eyes immediately when they surf on the browser. And with Facebook, you have the opportunities to really target based on demographics or behavior, interest. So those things that can help you to create a more personalized digital plan. I'm not saying you can create it for each very niche group, but in general, today's digital marketing allows you to do more targeted instead of like broadcasting. And the next, it is really about growth of video. I want to ask to each of you, like how much time do you spend each day on watching videos? Tell me in the chat. Is it 10 minutes or is it 1 hour, 90 minutes? Or you would like me? I probably spend I don't know, like 2 hours or even more than that on weekends, right? Let me see the chat. 2 hours, 2 hours. Is this 3 or 4 or 0.75? How do I read 3/4 hours? Is that 0.75 hours? Yeah, so I think what we can agree on is nowadays people consume a lot of video content instead of other media type. So growth of video, like this is all about attracting attention for your brand. And this is a great way to stand out from the crowd. If you compare with, let's say you are looking at your Facebook today and you scroll down from your newsfeed, and then you see some ad, it is using carousel or using a still picture. It may be less attractive if you see a video, maybe a 5 seconds or 10 seconds of video that it is what you are interested in. So you might be just spend that 10 seconds to watch that video. If the video is in great production, that will give a lot of great quality score to that video and can definitely attract a lot of people who enjoy consuming video. But if you are like me, I'm not saying that I'm really a video person. I still do a lot of other like audio visual, those kind of thing. But I personally try to compare like my ad on my Facebook versus my friends who really love video, and definitely they receive more video ads than me. So you can see that the platform had used the machine and algorithm to really understand people's behavior, so they can target to what interests you the most. So that is also another about the targeted audience, rather than just doing broadcast to everyone who does this has the same behavior. And lastly, this trend is really about immersive experience. So from TV to thermostats, cars, and refrigerators, the new devices you started to really expect they sync with each other. That's why I am a Apple fan. I use iPhone, I use Apple TV, and I use my Apple Watch. The reason why I'm so loyal is because everything syncs together, right? So if you watch Netflix on your mobile phone, you can go to your TV with the Apple TV login, and then you can continue where you left from. And then with the Apple Watch, you can also sync all of your activities, your exercise, and everything that you just feel everywhere you know where you are. And you don't have to like go through again from the beginning. So this is the ideal ultimate the business wants to achieve. I know perhaps you're thinking like my business is so small right now. I don't have the technology, but don't think that big. Think about what you can do to make the experience immersive. Let me give you another example. When I connect to the customer service today with a telecom company, it was at the beginning, it was about the sales inquiry. But at the end, I really want to understand how I can update my billing address. But I realized that's where the link was broken because the people who supported me on the sales inquiry can't answer the question about billing. And then the person needs to refer me to another customer service. And to a customer's view, this is not immersive. This is kind of broken because I need to, oh my God, I need to drop down this call and I need to call another number. I need to go through the entire queuing process before I can get my inquiry done. So as a smaller business owner, SMB, or as if you only start your own business right now at the very early stage, think about how you can integrate those services in together, right? You don't want to, you want to build a bridge, or we call one-stop shop for customers to look for answers. Either that's a website, or that's a customer service support, or it's a phone service, or it is online experience. You want to think how you make it easier for a customer. Because think about ourselves, we don't have a patient, we got lost in this digital world a lot, we got easily distracted. But if there is frictionless experience you experience, then you don't have to give up and you can be a little bit more patient. Then you realize, oh, this is an amazing experience. This is amazing customer service. So start from there. Start to really think how you can make customers experience great. I think that's the very good first step to think about. Okay, so that is the 5 trend, I'll say, under today's digital world. I know it sounds a little bit high level, but now let's move to think about our own service or our own business. How can we shape a strategy? Instead of focusing more about, oh, how do I do an advertisement on Google AdWords? Or how do I create ad on Facebook? But don't think that nitty-gritty detail first. Always start from a high level, a strategy level to set your goals first before going to those details. So grow fast in a more sustainable way. It is how we want each of our business to be able to achieve. And how do we do that? This is a very logical or systematic mindset, or an easy way for us to plan out what do we want our strategy look like. So first, you start thinking, what is your business goals? What do you want to achieve? Like with the moment when you set up your business, what is the business outcome? What inspires you? What do you want to get out of this business? After you have that strategy set already, and then you can move to the next, which is on marketing goals. What exactly do you want to see your number? Right? What's the market share you want to have? How good you want to be compared with your competitor? And then you can move to more on media goals. And eventually you can set up a campaign. So the most important thing for all of us is really to have the first 3 confirmed before you go to use the tool to make it happen. And so these are all equally important, but having a bigger picture, having overall arching goal that is really important for each of you. So let's go into a little bit more detail to understand what exactly do you need for each of this. The first thing, number one thing is about business goal. What could be follow under business goal? And you can ask yourself, please, what is the revenue you want to achieve? And what is the bottom line profit? Like, I want to have minimum this profit. And then do you want to steal some market share from your competitors? How much do you want to increase for the household penetration? Maybe you're thinking yourself, maybe you're at like 5% or 10%, but your dream, your goal, it is really go for 20%, right? You have to set those things up. Then you can move towards to the goal. Also, do you want to increase your customer value? What is customer value? And then a lot of you may, I don't know how you're understanding customer value. If you have some idea, you can share in the chat so each of us can also learn from you. But in my opinion, like if you see a lot of business started to have those loyalty programs or membership programs, and those are great things to keep your customers from losing them, right? And then you can also start to use the analyze tool to really understand how loyal or how much value can each customer bring to you. If you do not have such program, it might be quite hard for you to track how many people are repetitive customers and how many people only comes in for once and they are gone, and how many people, how frequent your customer visit your website and how frequent they start to purchase something from you. So those are, you can calculate a roughly customer value. Let's say if we have this membership in 1 year time, this membership brings me $95 revenue on yearly basis. So this is the customer value. So you know that how much you want to spend on marketing effort in order to keep more customers into your bucket. So you can compare how much budget you want to spend. If your customer value is $95, are you willing to spend $20 to attract one customer who can sign up your membership? Maybe that is a good deal. And then how you want to improve your cash flow. So all of this, it is your business goals. Before you can think about the next, just make sure you do have this very clear in your business plan. Either you have already started, you have already done this, or you haven't done this, and please start to do this now. And then how we can move to marketing goal. Marketing goal, there are this reverse triangle we always called. First is build awareness, and second is really influence consideration and drive purchases and grow loyalty. So what does those things mean? Let me give you another example. So let's say I want to buy a dress, right? I always love to buy different dresses. First, if I say I really have no idea what I want to buy, and then when I search online, either Google or I was looking through the Facebook or Instagram, I saw, hey, I like this dress. But first of all, this dress needs to be appear in my newsfeed. That's how I can see it. So that kind of business, probably you have never heard of this business before. So you were a little skeptical and thinking, oh, I've never heard of this ABC company. Is it good? And that's where you're moving to the next stage, which is we called consideration. And how does people do? What is people's behavior during these stages? They start to do some research. Again, back to the dress. I like this dress, but I haven't heard of this company. I just saw this from Instagram. What I might do is I might go to Google. I would do a search. Hey, this brand ABC, how is the quality? How is the review? Is there anyone who had already tried this dress before and show how it really looks like in the real picture? So those are under consideration. And eventually, I want to make a decision and I feel, oh, yes, this is the one, the review is great and I want to make purchase. So I'm going to go back to find the company again, then I made my purchase. Eventually, I probably become very loyal because I continuously I sign up and continuously to receive some newsletter from them, and I keep seeing different nice dresses, then I become loyal. Or maybe the company also or the business started to have some reward system and then keep you just very loyal with the brand itself. So that's a journey from a prospect to a loyal customer. So for our business, we really need to think, how can we, first of all, bring awareness, meaning how do we let people know about this brand? Only people knows about your brand, you can move them to the next stage, which is consideration. Don't rush to make your market strategy purchase directly, because think about yourself. If you see some brand you have never heard of, probably you won't directly just buy. If it is less than $10, it is very affordable, maybe you'll try. But if you are consider your product service is a good with quality, and you are not selling at a super low price, that's when you have to really start to think about your business. Always start from awareness first. Right? So let people, if you see this somewhere once, you may forget about it. But you see the second time or the third time, you start to feel, oh, it must be legit because I see it everywhere. So that is how consumers' mindsets start to change when they continuously have this impression from this brand. They will feel this is more trustworthy. Eventually, we can move to media goal. So what is your media goal? This comes to a little bit more detailed on how many people do you want to reach, right? Do you want like 1 million people to see your ad, or you are okay if just based on your supply, based on your demand, you may want to just have 100 at the beginning. And then you may also start to think, what's the frequency? How frequent or how many times do you want your audience to see your ad? Do you want them to feel they have to see 3 times per day? Will this annoy them? Do you think 2 times per week is a good number? Why? Right? Don't just give a number randomly, but just think, if you are running a restaurant, I'm a big foodie. When I see this, oh, this fried chicken looks really, really yummy the first time, then probably, okay, now I'm on diet, I don't want to eat it. But if at the evening time I'm seeing this ad again, I was like, I want to have it, right? So that is the, probably I see it twice and I'll make my decision to buy it. But if it is like saying you are running a travel company, I know this is out of picture right now, but if you saw this hotel in the morning, saw this again hotel during the lunch, and saw this 3 times per day, you probably feel it's a little bit annoyed because you can't make a decision like where your holiday is within a 1 day period. So then that's how you may think to make the frequency a little bit longer. So the impression, it won't just continuously to show to different audience. That will make a huge difference. Engagement is, how do you want to get engagement? Is it necessary for you to receive engagement? Engagement meaning they either interact with your ad. Do you want them to reach out to you? Do you want them to like? If you are running on Facebook, do they want them to reach out? Do they want to just click like? Because that doesn't really make a lot of effort to do that. And I know the cost is cheaper, but it doesn't really bring you some real thing. So engagement is not something that you want to consider a lot from Facebook platform itself. Conversion, everyone wants conversion. Conversion is meaning purchase, right? It's either products or service, and this is what you eventually want to have. So you can also see this based on just now the reverse triangle. We understand first, we want to just reach to as many people as possible to bring awareness to the audience, and you want your audience started to know more about your business. Eventually, that may help them to make decision for the last purchase. So think about it. And then lastly, it is campaign goal. Campaign goal is really about the nitty-gritty details. What is your CPM, like cost per impression? What is your CPV, cost per video view? What is the on target reach, how many unique reach you want to have. Like, do you want to have like 1 million view, or you want to have 1 million reach? Because reach is unique, right? And if you want to have like 500,000 people but see it twice, and that is unique reach is 500,000 people. All right, oh, sorry. Okay, so now I want to use a little, just 3 minutes for you to just have a digestion on, oh, sorry, thanks. We don't have to talk a little bit more about this, like marketing objective, which we just mentioned, and then more KPI on reach, impression, clicks. So those are your media goal, your campaign goal. So eventually, sorry. Yeah, I want to do a quick activity here. So why don't we just have a 3 minutes to 4 minutes time? Each of you can either use a pen or use computer or use your mind just to think through what is your business goal and what is your market goal and what is your media goal, what is your KPI. So the most important thing I would say, just work on the first two. I'll give you 3 minutes time. And if you are willing to share one out of your goal, please just write down it in the chat. Maybe we'll start from business goal. I hope I can see some chats coming in. What is the one thing that you want your business to achieve? You don't have to share with us all, just pick one thing. Anyone? Is it like empower founders? That's an interesting one. I will also suggest you to really have a clear measurement, right? So when you say empower founders, what exactly do you mean empower founders? And when you say business goals, attract more clients, what do you mean by more? Right? So try to make it a little bit measurable. So like, and don't be shy. You can have big goals, and you can make like, if I'm opening a restaurant, I would love to have 200 customers coming in every day, right? So if you can make it, that is very clear, very concise, and that is how it can really help you turn your goal into action. A lot of times we're making goals say, I want a more revenue, or I want a more cash flow. But please define what is more. I know some of you prefer to keep it more private, which I completely understand. So, okay, that's great. And then now let's just move on to the next topic. Okay, the next one, I'm going to talk a little bit about Google Ads. Now, I'm not going to talk into too much deeper on this, because the best way for you to experience is really to use the tool by yourself. Okay. So let's see, this is how it looks like on the platform itself. And that's where you can start to set your campaign goal. So once you confirm your business goal and thinking about your media strategy, and now let's make everything happen and having some action on it. And this is the goal. You can think, do you want to drive purchase directly? Or do you want to lead? Say you are running car selling, or you are trying to recruit more students. And those are great campaigns where lead, it is your best goal, right? Because you want to gather information, who has interest in signing up to drive the car for a test, or you want to just get information for you to be able to reach out like real agency, right? Those kind of a business that where leads might be more important. Engagement is like you want people to interact with you. Calls, do you want them to call you immediately? where like you see when you search on Google, you see this advertisement call, right? You can directly make the call. That's how convenient that is. And do you want to get calls directly from that your advertisement? If that is your purpose, then maybe, for example, like restaurant or making spa reservation, and those are more suitable to this type of business. And if you are running an app, do you want to try to drive installation? Do you want to try to drive more downloads? And that's where you can set down logo. So don't just follow certain best practice from online saying that, oh, the purchase, don't reference others. Always try to think what do you want to achieve instead of what is the most popular, right? Let's put that way. So think through your business goal, think through where you are right now. Are you there yet to make people immediately purchase from your website when nobody has heard of it? Or do you want to start to build more awareness first? Okay, so for Google, quickly introduction, we have search, display, video. I think each of them are pretty straightforward. And search meaning that when you type certain keywords, and then the Google will give you some options where you might see your business is part of it. You might be on the top, you might be on the lower, but that's because how the auction works, right? The auction, first of all, is based on the quality of your ad or your landing page. Is a legit website when you ask people to click, does this really click there? Or also the budget you spend on. So it doesn't mean whoever spend the most will be on the top. It doesn't mean like this. Whoever spends the most, yes, it gives you advantage, but also needs to see the quality of your ad. If the quality of your ad is amazing, then it really helps you to bring up as well. And then video ads is great. You see a lot from the YouTube. Bumper ads, it is really about shorter video. And now shorter video is the key. Think about ourselves. Do you want to spend 1 minute to watch a full video, unless that is extremely interesting? But in today's world, it's just too much consumption that we probably only have 15 seconds to really have a patience to watch this video. So always think, how do you create a more concise and simple, sweet message through a short video instead of create a really long production? Okay. Yeah, this is, I've already mentioned, this is how auction work based on your rank, which is the quality, and based on your bid, and that gives you the ranking, meaning tells you where you can show up. So overall, higher quality typically leads to lower cost. So always keep that in mind. Spend a lot of time really think through how to make your creative stands out rather than just throwing money there. It's not only based on how much you spend, it's based on how great your ad it is. Okay, so let's see. One more thing I want to share is about audience strategy. Audience strategy is really about how to bring your prospects into a lead and eventually into your customers. I can't highlight enough that, first of all, always to think about to bring awareness, because that's the only way that helps you to bring more prospects. If people has ever heard of your brand, and they are more willing to trust you and more willing to complete the final purchase with you. Okay, so again, don't rush to target directly to people who only has intent, but try to build a journey, build a marketing strategy. Maybe you start from awareness first. And then after 2 to 3 months, if you think you have already gathered enough impression or reach, then you can move to consideration strategy, where you can do a video to make people more memorable about your brand, your content. Make sure all of your different type of media speak the same language, right? If you did an amazing job in sharing a pasta brand in one picture, but your video doesn't match the style, so for customer may think these are just not the same brand. So you want to make sure all of your creative, your aesthetic speaks the same language, make the experience more consistent. And eventually, I hope everybody will become your customers. All right. So I think that's pretty much everything I want to share. We've been used about 45 minutes, and I just want to leave a couple few more minutes for us to share how you think about it, and then ask if you have any question, and that would be the time.
Thanks, Yolanda. Folks, any questions for Yolanda? You could either type it in the Q&A box, or you could raise your hands or put it on the chat. We have 3 options today. Yolanda, can I start with one while people, start typing their questions?
Sure.
You work with Facebook and you're right now with Google. What is the advertising strategy difference between Facebook and Google, and how, as a consumer, we can make a better choice?
Okay, that's a really great question, and I got a lot from the audience before. So the most important difference is Facebook is really has an advantage in bringing awareness to a broader team. As you may know, that Facebook, you can do really a lot on interest targeting, and you can select the country, you can select the interest, and you can be more specific, like what type of people you want to reach out. So when you go through the news feed from Facebook, you see a lot of people who you see a lot of advertisement that you've never heard of this brand before. Okay, so that's how I know, oh, this is this brand, I love this dress. Like you probably haven't heard of this before, but just because you have seen that from Instagram or Facebook, and you know that. So that is great for really bring awareness to your potential prospects or potential audience. Well, Google, it is more intent focus. Think about ourselves. Like when we want to buy something, I want to buy a dress, I will just search cute dress, right? So like you know that you are going to buy dress already. So it is more targeted when people already has some idea, right? So they already going through certain consideration stage. So perhaps the price might be a little bit higher, but that's because you are directly reaching out to people who has a more potential than people who doesn't know your brand. So think about where your business are, and I'll recommend to try both and spend a little budget, like $50, try for a week and on each platform to see what it brings to you. At the beginning, you may have a lot of great insight already, have some trend you start to see, and then you can decide what works for you the most.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. We've got a question from Calvin. How can we track conversions?
How can we track conversion? Okay, let me see the question. Okay, so conversion basically it means how many people had purchased your products or service. If you are using either platform, right, no matter it's Google or Facebook, you have a dashboard available within the platform where you can exactly see how many people viewed your ad, how many people click your ad, how many people purchase from your ad. So those information are obviously all showing up on your platform.
Great. So we've got a question from Piyush Shah. It's in the chat mode, yeah? How can we reach Yolanda for more details and understand about various points she touched during the presentation?
Sure. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. If you search Yolanda in, sorry, is it Yolanda? Yeah, I think you search for Yolanda in, you can find me. there are not many Yolanda in.
Yeah, you could share the questions with us, and we'll be more than happy to share it with Yolanda.
Yeah, sure, that's a great idea too.
The next question is from Buddha Burman. What is the best way to start with Google advertising?
Use it, download it. This is the simplest way. Like that's why I don't want to like show you a lot of screenshot how to use this. This never be a great way to start by using it by yourself. It is very easy to use. I know at the beginning people are a little bit resistant in trying something new and worried that what if I don't know how to do it. But definitely for both Google and Facebook, they have amazing sales advertising support. So if when you use it and there's something that you are confused, you don't know how to do, and you can easily reach out to the support, and there's a complimentary service available as well, and a lot of self-serving resources. So I highly recommend to use it today and spend a little bit budget just to try.
Okay, so the lean entrepreneur in me is asking this question. That's Sidhi asking this. Do we get any discount code as an entrepreneur if you use Google Ads from Google?
That's a good question. I'm not sure about it. So I will recommend you to go to the Google advertising website or training website. I think Louis is helping to answer as well. Because I'm not from Google as team, so I can't say for sure. Yeah, that's something I can't answer. I'm sorry.
No, thanks, Yolanda. So the next question is from Oliver. What can we do to improve the quality and bring down the costs per click of Google Ads? And the follow-on question is, what influences the algo most?
That's a great question. I can answer for both Google as well as Facebook. I'll tell Facebook first, because Facebook is really the platform you need to work on the creative a lot. Like no matter it is a picture, it's an image, or it is a video, the quality matters most. If you give you an example, if you are going through your Facebook and you see some ads which is crappy ad, what you will do, you will hide it or you will remove it. Everything each user will doing that action will bring your quality score down. So you don't want to do that, because you will realize, oh, how come my performance is so poor? It's because the quality of the creative is so poor that people doesn't want to see it. If people doesn't want to see it, the quality score low, then you won't win the auction. So it matters a lot for Facebook, especially if you are doing picture, photos, or videos. When it comes to Google, it depends what type of let's say you're doing search. If you're using text words, keywords, you say cute dress. But if you go to cute dress, you click this link, it brings you to a website showing t-shirt or shoes. And then you make customer feel, oh, this is not even like directly relevant, right? So that's how you will feel the score. The system will learn that this is not 100% relevant. So that will also bring down your quality score. So it's pretty much based on the ad itself, the keywords itself, as well as the landing page. So if your landing page doesn't match with what you said in the ad, it will also bring down your quality score.
Thanks, Yolanda. Ajay is asking, and I'll try to rephrase his question. He said, can I use this to target B2B customers?
B2B customers. Are we talking about B2B customers? Okay.
Ajay, I hope that's what you mean. Otherwise, you could message us back. So what he said was, I wanted to ask if this can be used for a business that targets business customers. So I'm assuming, can Google Ads be used for B2B customers? But if you mean something else, Ajay, please chat back.
Yeah, I'm more thinking on a personal experience wise, because you are targeting people who are on Facebook and you are targeting on users who are using Google. That's more on individual, right? You do not present a business. So just think about our own experience. When you search on Facebook and they target you, they can't target to your company, right? And same for Google, that if you are doing the search, it is more because you have this intent, but it's not your business. So I'm saying that there could be some option available, but my understanding is more on individual.
So to elaborate more, Google advertising is best targeted if your company is B2C, but if it's B2B, then Google Ads might not be the right way forward. Is that what you're implying?
Yeah, that's my understanding. Maybe I missed out something, but yeah, but from my experience, it's really about individual customer.
Ajay, I hope that answers your question. And with do you have any last questions, everyone? So while we wait for them to type, Yolanda, I have one last question from my end. How do you do cross-border business?
Okay, good question again. Like, I know a lot of people, when you are thinking, number one, how do you grow your business? Number two is, if your current market is very small, So everybody thinking how to go cross-border, especially when you think of digital marketing, the border is no longer a border. What you can start from is at the beginning, don't rush to just target people from everywhere. Let's say I'm based in Singapore, you're targeting to Malaysia, Brunei, like Cambodia, Myanmar. Don't try to do that, and really think about which country are more similar or like your current market, and start from there first. Think about, does the other country even speak English, or do they have their different language? Because if you think you are doing ad and you're using English, will that people understand what you mean, right? And then do you have a shipping availability? So I will always recommend for business who wants to go abroad, overseas, and first to identify few country has very similar purchasing behavior, having speaking similar languages, and having a likable look-alike markets. And then I know both Facebook and Google has the research on going cross-border like analyst, those database available. So do a search and you may find a lot of information like where do you want to go first? Where do you want to go next? Yeah, so do the research there.
Great. With that, we'll come to the end of this session. Yolanda, this was really useful and we've got so many questions. Thank you so much for making the session really interactive. For the attendees, let me remind you that Yolanda's talk would be available online, and we would share the link with you on Tuesday. We also have about 30 odd videos on the YouTube channel, our TiE YouTube channel, where you could visit our Go Digital series, the mental wellness series, and the business series, and you could use those links there. We'll type it on the chat mode again. This is our last workshop in the educate phase of the Emerge program. From next month, or starting of this month, we are starting the next phase, which is grow, where essentially we would be connecting you to mentors, investors, and advisors to grow your business further. So please fill the Emerge form, which is again on the chat if you have not done so already. And we would love to help you grow from your current phase to the next phase of your journey. With that, Yolanda, I would like to thank you once again. This has been a super useful session. And thank you for sharing this and spending your time with us.
It's my pleasure. Yeah, I would love to continue to do this if people find this helpful.
Great. Before we sign off, would request everyone to fill up the short poll that we are going to launch so that we can